I welcome you all to this Zoom conference, which is dedicated to the educational opportunities in Israel for Azerbaijani students. But before that, I want to tell you one important thing. Well, in connection with the events that took place both in Israel and here in Azerbaijan, I suggest to observe a minute of silence to remember our soldiers who sacrificed their lives for the safety of our countries. May their souls rest in peace. Let me introduce myself. Well, as I told before, my name is Рафаэль and I'm a member of the youth organization of Azerbaijan-Israel International Station, Aziz. First of all, well, as a student of Baku State University, Faculty of Law, I wish every participant and every student success in everything, specifically in choosing the right university and degree. I'd like to start today with the presentations of all those organizations, universities, and important people who honored us with their presence at this event. And now I want to introduce the Global Outreach and Recruitment Coordinator of Tel-Aviv University, David Ryan.
Thank you, Raphael. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is David. I'm from Tel-Aviv University International, which is the international school responsible for outreach and recruitment to all corners of the world to let people know about the study opportunities that you have at Tel Aviv University in English. I've got a presentation to go through with you. It won't take long, maybe 20 minutes or so. And then I've got a couple of other people joining me as well. Am I to begin now, Orhan? Can I begin now, or do you want to?
No, now it's introducing, sir.
Okay.
In a few minutes.
Okay, understood.
Thank you.
So nice to meet everyone.
Nice to meet you, sir. Mr. Рафаэль, you can continue.
Okay, so we have another participant from Tel Aviv University, Mubaris Shahbazli. He's an Azerbaijani student studying at Tel Aviv University. Welcome, Mubaris Shahbazli.
Thanks for having me here. Well, I want to greet everyone. I want to say my greetings to Azerbaijan from Tel Aviv University. I'm a student here in Sofar Global MBA in Tel Aviv University, and we're going to talk about a lot what I've experienced. Okay, I'm waiting for my part. Okay, thank you for everything. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mubaris.
Okay. So let me introduce you, Mr. Orhana Rasulzade. Well, dear guests, let me introduce the assistant to the president of Aziz Israel-Azerbaiján International Station, Mr. Orhana Rasulzade. I'd like to also mention the fact that this event was created upon his initiative.
Thank you, Mr. Рафаэль. Honorable guests, dear colleagues, I'm glad to welcome you today in this conference for the students who want to study in Israel. As we all know, Israel unilaterally supported Azerbaijan during the 44-day war in Karabakh. After the war, Israel still continues to provide support, and Israeli companies are involved in the restoration of Azerbaijan liberated lands. This project for the students implies that students from Azerbaijan will be able to get one of the best education in the world in the future, and then return to Azerbaijan and be useful to their homeland. As you all know, Israel is one of the leading countries in the world with the best performance in almost the areas. Dear students, I would like to wish you good luck and great success in your studies. You are our future. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Orhana Rasulzade. So let's move on. I'd like to provide you with some information. We are thankful to the chairman of the State Committee on Work with Diaspora, Mr. Fuad Muradov. They kindly agreed to provide us with a large Zoom meeting room, which allows up to 500 participants. And we have a guest. We have a guest who joined us today from the State Committee on Work with Diaspora. Hаяля Guseynli. Welcome, Mrs. Hаяля Guseynli. So the next visitor is the representative of Azerbaijan Student Youth Organizations, Vespers.
Thank you, dear ladies and gentlemen, our students. I'm Paris Meramli, the chairman of Azerbaijan Student Youth Organizations Union. I'm proud to see you here today at the webinar named Educational Opportunities in Israel for Azerbaijani Students. Just before we get started, I'd like to express my gratitude to all of you who so generously helped us to make this event come together smoothly, especially Orhana from Aziz, Mr. Ryan from Tel-Avivский University, and of course Рафаэль and his team from Asa. We couldn't have done it without you guys. And let me take this opportunity to give you a brief overview of ASU for the interested ones. So Azerbaijan Student Youth Organizations Union, known as Azerbaijan Telefigazete in Azerbaijani language, is one of the Azerbaijan's largest cross-faculty student organizations. We are a non-governmental, non-profit organization founded in November 2009, and as non-profit organizations, as use primary activity strategies based on grants awarded by different local and international donors. The aim of founding ASU is to represent and protect students' interests in Azerbaijan and to improve the level of education at the higher schools and to ensure students' active participation in social, political, economic aspects of our country and to promote solutions of the society's problem, or we can say improve the well-being of our vulnerable population. And we are regularly organizing local trainings, courses, seminars, conferences, thematic parties, national, international summer camps, summer universities, EIFETs, and user exchange, other kind of activities not prohibited by our legislation. This was a short speech on my side, and I wish success to each of us in the work of this meeting. And at the end of the event, I'm more than sure that the students will leave the webinar with good impressions and gain new knowledge. I believe that this webinar will be an additional impetus to our opportunities for cooperation between Israel and Azerbaijan on the field of education, and at least will support and increase awareness of the education opportunities in Israel for our students. Thank you for your listening and good luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. Well, our next guest is Executive Director of Azerbaijani Students and Alumni Platform, Mr. Рафаэль Nabizade.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much, Рафаэль, for introducing me. My name is Рафаэль Nabizade, and I'm Executive Director of Azerbaijani Students and Alumni Platform, ASAP. I'm very glad to see such young, active people as you here being interested in studying abroad. And I want to thank to the Youth Foundation of Azerbaijan, State Committee on Work with Diaspora of the Republic of Azerbaijan, International Association Aziz, and of course Azerbaijani Student Youth Organizations Union, and of course Mr. David Ryan for collaboration in the framework of this event from Tel-Avivский University. As you know, the diplomatic relations between Israel and Azerbaijan and collaborations across various sectors, especially between the use of the respective countries, are getting more advanced day by day. And strategic partnership and support extended by Israel to Azerbaijan, our fight for territorial integrity of our country and liberation of our territory is the clearest example of our relations. I believe the role of youth to take ownership of extending this ties is crucial, and ASAP makes its mission to support the development of Azerbaijani students and alumni around the globe, and Israel is one of the main focus points for us. So providing aid in areas that impose the highest priority and the spirit of the already existing friendly relations explore more possibilities for collaboration for the benefit of our youth. We are looking very much forward to working with the active youth organizations of Israel and those students who plan to study there and come back to Azerbaijan and bring experiences they learned there. I'm sure today's event will be very useful for those who are planning to considering studying in Tel Aviv University, especially. And I'm again very thankful for Mr. David Ryan for the presentation he will make today. And I'm sure that it will be very productive and successful for every participant. Now I'm giving the floor to my colleague Ramia. She will give the detailed information about ASAP. We won't take much of your time, and I hope it will be interesting for you as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rafael. Hello, everyone. I also want to thank to Tel Aviv University for such an opportunity for Azerbaijani students. I'm going to share my screen to give you overview about ASAP. I would like to ask the host of the event, please, to make me co-host so I can share my screen as well. Maybe in the meantime, I would like to ask a question to Mr. David, if it's not a problem for you, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Yes. So first of all, it's so nice to have you here. Yeah. So first of all, it's so nice to have you here, giving information to us about the opportunities, education opportunities in Israel for Azerbaijani students. Thank you so much for that. I would like to ask about the university in general. Do you know if any Azerbaijani students are studying there or not? Or
Yes.
What is the major that mostly preferred from Azerbaijanis maybe? This is just very interesting for myself.
You've actually led into a nice point. We actually have a student here joining us, Mubarak, who's from Azerbaijan, who's a student here at Tel Aviv University. After my presentation, Mubarak and Lena from the program were going to chat a little bit about their experiences. But yes, when I was invited to this event, the first thing I did was, okay, do we have students from Azerbaijan that can join us who are here on campus and in Israel? And the answer is yes. Yes, we do.
Yes, I'm here.
About that, yeah. Yeah, it's great to hear about that. So now, like, I will give information about our organization, but like in general, I would like to mention that. So our organization, ASAP, is a network that unites and supports Azerbaijanis abroad. That's why we would love to meet Azerbaijanis living in Israel. As Rafael mentioned earlier, Israel, one of our focus directions that we want to work with the youth in the country. Together with ASAP. So at the very end, I will share a link for you how to join ASAP, how to be in contact with us. We would be very interested to work with Azerbaijanis in Israel. So yes.
Yes, and maybe not to take much of your time,
Yes.
we can just continue with, say, delivering, let's say, our presentation without the visual one, unfortunately, and then we can send the link to everyone who is interested to also see and get familiar with what we do. Of course, yes, thank you very much for doing what you have done, and thank you, Boris, for joining the call and showing us the exact experience of Azerbaijani studies abroad. So, Ramia, yes, can we just continue without the presentation?
Sure.
Not to lose much of our time.
Mr. Doron Pir has some problems with connection, but he will be back as soon as possible. Now, Global Outreach and Recruitment Coordinator of Tel Aviv University, David Ryan, will perform in front of audience, and students are able to ask questions. He will inform us about the basic requirements for admission to Israeli universities, student life, and etc.
Okay. Am I good to go? I'm good to begin?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful, thank you. I'll start just by playing a very, very short video that explains more of Taoism and our philosophy of studying through experience. So let me just share my screen. The video. Let's begin.
Tel Aviv University International, the only place in the world where you can study Taoism. What is Taoism? Well, it's a local philosophy that says the best way to study is through experience. Understand with your head, learn with your feet. The best way to study a multicultural society is to live in one. Be ready with your elevator pitch. You never know who you'll meet on campus. If you want to learn the best marketing strategies, just go to the local market. Reading about the startup nation? Write your own chapter. Study literature in the place that inspired the bestseller of all time. You can't resolve a conflict until you witness one. At TAU, there is always room for more questions and 400 labs to find the answers. Come experience the wisdom of Taoism at Tel Aviv University International, where first-class education meets a second-to-none lifestyle.
Wonderful. So I think that just gives you a nice, that explains our philosophy better than I can explain it to you. And the idea of Taoism is when you come to Tel Aviv University, you come to Israel, you learn everywhere. You don't just learn in the campus, in the classroom. You learn throughout your entire time here in Tel Aviv and in Israel. So let's kick off. I don't know if you've ever been to Tel Aviv, but this is a great picture of one of the beaches here in Tel Aviv. We have 16 kilometers of beaches. It's an amazing city to live in. So the philosophy I just told you, that is our philosophy. We believe in study through experience. Now this gives a good snapshot of who we are. We are Israel's largest and most comprehensive institution of higher education. We have 30,000 total students, and of that, 2,000 plus are international students, and they come from 100 plus countries from all regions of the world, from Africa, the Americas, Asia, Europe, Oceania, the Middle East, over 100 countries. We have 125 schools and departments across 9 faculties. We are truly a multidisciplinary hub of academic excellence. As I said, typically we have a lot of students that come from North America, also Latin America, Europe, Asia, and Australia are also big populations for us, as well as the international community here in Tel Aviv that study with us. So, and we have one campus. It's just north of downtown Tel Aviv. It's a big campus, 220 acres. It's lots of green spaces. Everything is in the one campus, so you're not going to different campuses. It's a great place with lots of green spots to sit, artwork on campus. It's like a mini city in itself here in campus. And of course, we're in Tel Aviv, you know, the second largest technology sector in the world. We're very much the hub of the startup nation. As you've seen from the video, we have 400 labs, 130 research institutions, 3,500 projects annually, you know, 15,000 international alumni, 1,000 senior faculty members, and 1,400 affiliated physicians at 17 hospitals. So we are truly a hub of interdisciplinary academic excellence. I won't go into all of these, but I think it's a nice snapshot to tell you who we are and what we do. As I've said, we're the #1 choice for Israeli students. We're ranked number 5th worldwide for entrepreneurship. We're in the top 10 of schools producing VC-backed founders, and we're the only non-US institution to make that top 10 list. So we're very, very proud of those facts. We're a top 100 innovation university, of course. We also have a new diversity commission that was set up this year, and we're very proud of the stat that 55% of our population on campus are women. We're very, very proud. Impact, as I've explained and you've seen in the film, you know, we have 130 research institutions with 400 labs to help you find the answers. We have 9 faculties. Interdisciplinary is very much part of our DNA. World-class faculty with world-renowned professors. A global university, you know, you'll hear lots of different languages on campus. Social involvement, you know, every year our students do over 300,000 hours of community service. And of course you get to live in this wonderful magical city of Tel Aviv that we call home, that truly is unlike any other city in the world. I'll talk a bit about it in the next slide. But reasons to love Tel Aviv, you know, of course, there's the obvious. 300 days of sun, 14 kilometers, sorry, stretch of beach, a global hub, a global city, capital of Mediterranean, cool. It truly is a wonderful, wonderful city. And if you've ever been to Tel Aviv, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's one of the world's safest cities as well. Very diverse and free-spirited as well. Oops. I won't go into all of them, but of course, if you come to Tel Aviv, you'll join an international alumni of 15,000 that are making an impact in their respective fields. We have a couple of key ones here. For example, Yotam Ottolenghi, the famous chef and author, Professor Ronit Satchi, who developed a nano-vaccine to treat melanoma, Uri Levine, who was the founder of Waze, the GPS system. These are all graduates and alumni of TAU. And of course, connections to industry. You know, we're not just a place of learning. We have the remote Tel Aviv University who take ideas and inventions and turn them into actual products and services. TAU Ventures is a venture capital on campus. Ignite by Collar is a new entrepreneurship club run by students. The Entrepreneurship Center is also run by professionals from the industry. The Ignite Club actually is from students by the Collar School of Management, which you'll hear a little bit after my presentation from a couple of people. We also have some very high-ranking events that happen on campus every year. We have the annual Cyber Week. It's internationally acclaimed. It's one of the top cybersecurity events in the world. It's a unique gathering of cybersecurity experts. We usually have about 9,000 delegates on campus for that entire week. We also have the Artificial Intelligence Week, and they tend to run consecutively. And this one happened on campus this year for the first time. And Naftali Bennett was here, and he officially opened up the conference. So that gives you a bit more of the macro level of Tel Aviv University and who we are. Let me just jump down into the details of the programs and what's waiting here for you. We have 60 programs in total. We have programs, bachelor's programs, we have study abroad, we also have post-high school, we have short-term, we have masters, PhD and postdocs. So you literally can come to us post-high school and matriculate your entire way through higher education all the way up to PhD and postdocs level. Study abroad. Study abroad, this is what we call where students at their home university, you may be studying at the university in Baku, you can come to us for a semester or for a year and take part of our programming, access our student life team, and you get to experience Tel Aviv for a semester or for a year. We have a couple of programs. We have some specialized tracks in entrepreneurship, innovation, and business, also in law. The academic gap program, this is for post-high school. If any of you are just graduating high school, you can come to us for a semester or for a year and get your feet wet in academia. you can take part in our program, in our classes, and create a timetable, a customized timetable according to your interests and hobbies. And you can stay for a semester or for a year. You'll gain academic credit. You can then continue on and do a degree with us, or you can go to another university in your home country or somewhere else, and you'll have gained credits from here that should be able to be transferred into your home university or another university that you want to go into. And this picture here, this is actually our students on one of the trips to the desert in the south of Israel. And the video that I showed you at the very beginning, the Taoism video, a lot of the actors in this were students that we filmed on campus in the summer and also out and about in downtown Tel Aviv. So we have 3 undergraduate degrees. Actually, we have 4. We have another one, a new one to add. We have the BA in Liberal Arts, which gives you a comprehensive foundation in liberal arts, and that's a 3-year program. We have a 4-year liberal arts dual degree with Columbia University in New York. And this program that's also liberal arts, and you'll spend the first 2 years here with us at Tel Aviv, and then the final 2 years at Columbia University in New York. And that's a 4-year program in total. So at the end of that, you graduate with actually 2 undergraduate degrees, one from us and one from Columbia University in New York. So you get to experience both cities. We have a new undergraduate that we've just launched for next year, which is our International BA in Management and Liberal Arts, and that's a 3-year degree. We also have a new music undergraduate that we will be updating on this, and that's just opened for next year as well. And then graduate degrees, we have about 16 graduate degrees in total, and you can really, dive deep into your area of interest. Each program has a core curriculum and a diverse selection of electives, so you really can tailor your studies. Of course, we have regular guest lectures, campus activities and excursions, to give you access to the cutting edge of research, innovation, and academics while you're here at TAU. So we have programs across all of the faculties, most disciplines. Ancient Israel Studies, which is archaeology. We're better to study the land of the Bible than in the land of the Bible. Conflict resolution and mediation, environmental studies, migration studies, security and diplomacy. Cyber politics and government is a new program from last year that's just started. And the programs with the asterisks, subsidized program tuition. What that actually means is they're a little bit cheaper than the other programs because they're a hybrid with also Israelis. So you'll get to mix with Israelis in this program as well. Although the entire program, all our programs are taught in English. And we have a couple of MSc options in engineering and life sciences. Neuroscience is a new program from last year. We have an LLM, which is a very popular graduate degree in law. The Sophia Global MBA, you heard from Mubarak, who's a student from Azerbaijan on the Sophia Global MBA, and he'll chat a little bit after I've finished about his experience. And also we're joined by Lena from the Sophia Global MBA team, who's also will chat a little bit, and she'll be available to answer any questions you have about that program. And then we have other programs from other faculties, so documentary cinema, you get access to cutting edge tools and filmmaking equipment here on campus, and our new music program at graduate level. So we do have a wide selection of graduate degrees across the faculties. We also have short-term, and short-term typically we categorize as summer programs, which are usually undergraduate level, summer graduate level. We have languages and also online programs as well. So summer programs typically, yes, they happen in the summer and they're short term. So they're usually 4 weeks or 6 weeks. And we have programs in entrepreneurship, cybersecurity, smart cities. That's about artificial intelligence in cities. Of course, Middle Eastern Jewish studies. You can come to us for a summer internship as well. We can place interns in different companies, organizations, startups, NGOs, to get experience. We have a research program for scientists. You can come into one of our 400 labs and spend your summer doing a research piece. We have focus on fintech, which is financial technology. These all typically, they're due to open at 1st of December for the summer, and they're usually from the end of June, beginning of July, until the end of July, or the first or second week of August. So you do get to, also you get to study and you get to spend summer in Tel Aviv. We have a couple of graduate programs, so these ones are geared at undergraduate level. You're welcome to apply even if you're a graduate, just to bear in mind that the course is geared at undergraduate level. We also have a couple of graduate options, so epidemiology and preventative medicine. That's very apt, given we're coming out of a global pandemic. We have a program in food safety and security. Online programs, these were new programs that we put in place last year when COVID hit, and they were popular, so we brought them back this year with a couple of new additions. We're not sure yet, we're waiting to see if we'll bring them back next year for the summer. But these were online programs only, again, 4 to 6 weeks. COVID-19 from crisis to opportunity. This was a very great online program that we launched very quickly last year, and we brought together all of the different faculties into this one course where they evaluated the effect of COVID from different perspectives. So from the environment perspective, from an economic perspective, from a privacy perspective, and just to truly evaluate how COVID has affected our lives. And that was a great online program last year that we brought it back this year. Hopefully next year we can bring one back, how we ended COVID. That's our goal. Climate change, of course, another program also about vaccines against viral infections, including COVID-19. Language programs. We have a couple of language options for you. We have TACA. TACA is almost like a prep program. It's to get your Hebrew level up to academic level if you want to then continue and to study a degree taught in Hebrew. Advanced English. We have a lot of students that come to us because all of our programming is taught in English. You have to have a TOEFL score or a certificate in English. We have a summer program in English that gets your English up to an academic level to then continue on and study on one of our English top programs. We have a Hebrew program, of course, we're Israel, so we have Hebrew programs and Arabic programs throughout the semester, throughout the entire year. We do intensive Hebrew in the spring and in the summer, and semester courses throughout the year. And also Arabic is offered throughout the year as well. And a lot of students that come and a degree student, they'll come and they'll want to take some Hebrew or some Arabic, and there's the possibility to do that. You can take one of those courses as part of your coursework. We also have a very great Yiddish summer program, which is very, very interesting. It's very popular. They have about 60 students that come here in the summer and they learn Yiddish. And it's phenomenal because at the end of it, the graduation ceremony, they all prepare this comedy sketch, and they do this comedy sketch on stage in Yiddish. And I don't know what they're saying because I don't speak Yiddish, but they're laughing and everyone else is laughing. So I assume it's something very, very funny. So of course you have lots of options here to study these languages. Student Life Team. If there's one other thing I want you to take away with, is our Student Life Team. We call them Madrachim, and Madrachim is a Hebrew word for counselor or guide. And all of them are Israeli students who are post-army, and they're studying their first or their second degree with us. They live in the dorms with you, and they are there to give you a nice soft landing. So when you come to us, you're not coming to a, quote, foreign country on your own. They are there on arrival day. They organize the orientations days. They're available 24/7. There's a 24/7 contact number they have with them all the time. There's always one of them in our office here in the middle of campus. They live in the dorms. So they are, I think, outside of the academics, the next best resource. And they can help you with any assistance you need, any help in housing, medical, insurance. And they have a full calendar of events throughout the year, social events, cultural events. They'll take you from the north to the south, from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. You'll get to explore the whole of the country with our Madrahim team. And the picture on the right is actually of some students and some of our Madrahim on a day trip to Jaffa to explore Jaffa here in Tel Aviv. And if you go onto our website, you can actually see the calendar of all the events they've got listed for the next year. Accommodation, yes, we have accommodation and dorms. This picture here is our Broshim dorms that's just adjacent to campus. We also have the Einstein dorms just opposite campus. 24-hour security, health insurance, doctor's office on campus. We don't offer meal plans in our dorms, but then there's food courts and supermarkets and shops, all within walking distance here in this neighborhood. Okay. Oops. FAQs, I think we'll continue, and then if you have any questions, you're welcome to ask me and also Mubarak and Lena as well. We're available to answer any questions that you have. I do recommend if you go onto our website, here's the link here. You can read a lot of our testimonials, also on our YouTube channel as well. We have a lot of student testimonials and videos there that you can watch. And yes, that's our program in a nutshell. My email address is here, study@tarex.tau.ac.il. If you have any questions, any queries at all, please reach out to me. I'm here to help. I'm here to answer any questions you've got. Yes, I mentioned we have Mubarak, who's a student from Azerbaijan, who agreed to join this event today, and we're delighted that he took time out of his classes to join us today. We've also got Lena Bleeman, who's actually the global recruitment lead at the Sophia Global MBA team. So I'd like to hand over to them to share their experiences of being a student, and also maybe Lena can answer any questions about the program. I'm also here, I'll stay online for the next half an hour or so, so I'm also available to answer any questions. So thank you so much for inviting me to talk. It's been a pleasure. I'm really surprised to see so many people here. I think it's wonderful. And whatever I can do to persuade you to come to Tel Aviv University, I'm here to answer any questions you've got. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. David Ryan. It was very informative and constructive.
Thank you.
Presentation.
Maximum information, of course, maximum. Thank you very much, Mr. David. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Рафаэль, I think we can introduce Mubarak Shahbazli the one more time, and Mr. Mubarak can start to explain his presentation.
Hi again. Before my speech, I would like to express my gratitude to all organizers and both the ASIS, ASAP, and specifically the university office who have, caused this event to happen. Because if you guys did not, have this meeting, have not organized this meeting at this event, I was going to do it because I've made a lot of researches before coming here, and I could say that I'm very happy and I'm delighted to be here, to be as a student of the Sophia Global MBA, it's considered as the flagship program of the Tel Aviv University. And for those who don't know the Tel Aviv University reputation, and recently I was told that, and even I learned that the 50% of the whole, all entrepreneurs of the Israel are the graduates of the Tel Aviv University. So it's kind of specialized in the entrepreneurship, venture, and this kind of, programs. So I'm going to cut it very, very short and tell you briefly on what I have experienced differently here and what insights you can take as out of my experiences. Okay. So actually, this is not my first MBA. I already did my first MBA back in an ADA university. As you know, the ADA university is also one of the most prestigious university. and I also enjoyed my business education there. But for a long time ago, I made a plan to go abroad and to have to study also abroad. But I had a three plans actually, and one of them to study, to come to Israel and study here. And so I defined the two programs, and eventually I selected this program. I'm very happy. I'm very thankful that I was accepted as a university, and eventually I'm here. Okay, what differences and the experiences that I had in this program? Okay, first of all, what I was amazed that the practicability of the classes here in Tel Aviv University. I'm going to give you this example. For example, in financial accounting, which I already have seen this type of classes back in Azerbaijan, also in my previous two business education. For example, if you talk about something, if you talk about the new financial terms, we always go to that website of company, and we start to analyzing their actual financial statements, which is issued or published on the Security Exchange and Commissions. So that's amazing for me, because I'm wondering, okay, I'm learning the financial accounting, but I have no idea what these numbers tell me when I went to their websites, or when I have a chance to look at the company's the financial statements, but I had no idea what is happening there as the numbers. So it's kind of a very amazing experience for me. I'm having this kind of practicability. Next one should be that, okay, here Tel Aviv University, because Tel Aviv University has its own venture capital center, which is called the Tau Ventures. Also, David already mentioned it. So if you have an idea, if you have, basically we're dealing with this startups and this kind of stuff here as an MBA student or as MBA programs. So if you already have an idea, you can go to and pitch your idea, and if it's very perspective, they can support you. Okay, and Tel Aviv University is the only one university that have this kind of center within its campus. Okay, and another amazing thing that which I really experienced here is that you saw it on the video that, okay, you may encounter a lot of guest speakers from the business world, which during the classes we see them a lot because each week they are invited to come to our classes and they talk about their experiences. For example, last one was the first man who's the co-founder of the Unicorn. Unicorn means that it's valued over the $1 billion company. So it's amazing to see this kind of having this kind of space with them. So we are having a lot of insights from them. Maybe it's going to be very helpful to build our own company or start our own company, or anything that's any experience that we're going to have during the Israel. So we're having a lot of meetings. We are going to the venture capitalist investment companies. We are going to visit, and we visit the accelerators and some other business centers, which is very helpful too for our education. So it's all full of the practicability that you cannot see it unlike other universities. Okay, this is my brief introduction or the brief speech about my program. I'm very lucky to be here because, as I say, very amazing to amaze the practicability of my classes. So if any of you have any question to me, I will reply to you or respond to you personally with my all enthusiasm. That's it. That's my speech. Okay. I'm gonna hand over to Lena Vilman. Okay, if you have any questions, I'm here ready to answer your questions.
Thank you, Mr. Mubaris. Mr. Rafael, you can continue, please.
Well, yes. Now we can take some questions from the audience. Maybe some students have questions. If not, so we can hand over the speech.
No,
to
we have it because I was received a few messages about they have a couple of the students, they have the questions and different things. Just a second, I will check it now.
Just before we continue, Lena, did you want to say a few words about the Sophia Global MBA? I put in the chat just some links.
Yeah, hi, I really wanted to say hello because I think it's much better when the students speak. So thank you, Mubaris, for giving the speech. And actually, I'm very happy to hear so many students that are interested in studying in Israel. And I think David also can share this happiness with me. Myself, I'm recruiting for the Sophia Global MBA. And I think most of the attributes that we discussed about Tel-Aviv universities, like the rankings, belong to the Kohler School of Management. And I'm happy that we can actually meet those kind of people who are the head of the unicorns or just, make this world a little bit better, because it's also very important now that we're just not thinking about the money, business and stuff like this, but also about the impact. And I'm proud to say that most of our students, maybe all of our students, are really special, smart and creative people that dare to choose something different. They dare to come to Israel and choose our MBA, which is really hands-on and practical, as Mubaris mentioned. In addition to this, of course, we got the international accreditation. And by the end of the program, which lasts a little bit more than 10 months, and it's all in English, you will have not just the internationally accredited diploma, but also part of our program is internship. So each of our students, if he or she wants to, they can be employed by the Israeli company. And so you would have experience not just of studying in this beautiful, beautiful campus and city, which is behind David right now, and somewhere behind me in real life, yeah. And you would also have a chance to work and see what is the ecosystem, how to get into it, what you should be doing. And yeah, basically that's it. I think now it's better to answer the questions. And I'm proud that we have a student from Azerbaijan. So Mubaris, thank you for choosing us and staying with us. So everybody is welcome.
Thank you, Lena.
Thank you very much. It was a very detailed and interesting speech.
My pleasure.
So now, Mr. Rafael, you can ask again from the students from Azerbaijan if they have any questions, because some students already waiting.
Yeah, students, we are ready to take some questions from the audience. You are welcome.
Mr. Mohammed Alif, okay. Can you on your microphone, please?
Yep. Hi, everyone. Thank you for your presentations. I have a question to Mr. David about the university. You have talked about the social life of the students at the campus. I want to ask about the following. Is there any student unions that organize, for example, monthly events at the campus? If so, what are the requirements to open such student unions?
Sorry, I was on mute. We have, there is a students' union on campus, which is utilized more by the Israeli students than international students. But of course, international students are welcome to join the students' union by all means. And they do events and trips and lots of different events on campus. We also have the countrywide campus event starting next month as well. In addition to that, like I said, we also have our own madrachim who do a lot of social activities and excursions, mainly for international students. Yeah, absolutely. But you can also, there's a students' union, which you can definitely, I can pop a link into the chat for you. Definitely reach out to them. Absolutely. Let me just pop this here. Send that to you in the chat. There we go. Answer your question.
Can I clarify maybe a bit question? For example, in ADA in Azerbaijan, we have a kind of clubs, let's say, in the university. For example, we have a chess club, and the people in the chess club, they organize monthly events for the members of the club. Like, is this union the same thing?
Yeah, of course,
the
absolutely. The Students' Union, they do lots of different events. Like, you know, they have clubs like the Model UN Club, debating clubs, environmental clubs, green clubs, LGBT clubs. There's lots of options here. Yeah.
And so anyone who...
we have clubs at our department, also at the MBA. So you can have like the cybersecurity club, or maybe not especially for you, but women in business club. That's also what we have here, or Ignite Club, or some competitions that are actually taking place here, where you can actually work on the real life projects and win some prize even. So there are many clubs, and each faculty has their own clubs and general clubs, what David mentioned, within the student union.
And one more question, if possible, please. For example, anyone who's the part of those unions, can they open their own clubs, like initiative clubs or something like that? Or it's like fixed set clubs only?
I don't see why not. If you want to organize something, a club informed, then by all means. I've had students that, first year students here in the BA, to set up a, I forgot the name of it, Lena. What was Peter's event? Youth Innovation Forum. I remember it, yes. Absolutely. You know, we're, you know, a top 10, top 100 innovation university. If you want to create a club for students, by all means, that's something that's welcomed, encouraged, and you can get help from that. Absolutely.
Yeah, like club events, whatever we feel like Israel is like, yeah, maybe the motherland of innovation. And just also, like, for example, like one of our students came to us and said that there is a governmental organization from Colombia is coming. And so we want to host something, some exchange between the entrepreneurs of our state. And we just organized this. So we will definitely support the ideas that everybody can benefit from. So very welcome.
Related to the club ideas, can I also ask one question? So are there any experiences of national associations of students within the university?
What do you mean?
For example, we worked with University of Köln, and they have this experience of having, for example, association of Azerbaijani students studying in the university. They have their own name, and they work under, for example, the international office probably of the university, and etc. So is there any kind of experience like this?
Not that I'm aware of. I'm just thinking we do work with our friends associations, and so we do, you know, pre-COVID we organized lots of events for students from specific regions and countries to bring them together so they can all meet their fellow countrymen who are here as students, you know, to strengthen their experience and their ties, and that's something we're hopefully going to do again in the future. We also have country events that we're launching from next month. We have the German event first, Germany Week in December. For an entire week, we're doing German-themed events, and the ambassadors coming along. But to answer your question, I don't think it's something we've done in the 3 years I've been here. But that's not to say it's not something that, you know, we wouldn't consider, we wouldn't do. I don't see why not.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We have a question from the Rufat.
I think you're on mute, Rafat.
I'm sorry. Thank you so much for the presentation, for the warm atmosphere that you have created here for us. I've been in Tel Aviv. It's really an amazing city, and I really hope that everyone here who has never had a chance to be there once will visit this amazing city and see the contrast between everything that happens there. My question would be more like in the terms of the relation with Azerbaijan generally international universities and Azerbaijan universities particularly. Do you have any partner university in Azerbaijan that you are exchanging the students, maybe exchanging some experiences, if not the students or any other corporation? And regarding general, just question of my interest, that what's the ratio of your international students in comparison of total students, and what's the top 3, let's say, countries that you have international students from?
Sure. Firstly, I don't know about any arrangements with universities or institutions in Azerbaijan. That's not we have a separate exchange office. We have relationships with lots of universities throughout the world. I'll put a link on here. I couldn't see Azerbaijan there, but we do have an exchange team, an outreach team who are making connections with institutions throughout the world. So if it's not Azerbaijan isn't there, it may be they're working behind the scenes on such a relationship, because we do have quite a lot of relationships with institutions throughout the world. In terms of, like I said in the presentation, we have 30,000 total students, which includes Israelis, and of that 30,000, 2,000 are international students. So 28 are Israeli students. That also gives you the benefit of being able to, if you live in the dorms, and you can mix it with Israeli students, and also some of the programs are hybrid with international students and Israeli students. If I had to say the top 3 countries for international students, it would definitely be the US, would be number 1, followed by closely LATAM, which is South America, and then Europe, Western Europe. We also have an office in New York and one in Brazil as well. So, but like I say, we have over 100 countries, but those are the top regions for us.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot for a precise answer.
You're welcome.
Is there anyone who wants to ask a question?
I just want to say something to Mr. Rufat when he will start explaining about the Tel Aviv and its contrast the city. The Mr. Rufat, you must be also in Haifa, because there have a lot of streets which is too close, like we have streets in Baku, and most of the Azerbaijanis, the people living in Haifa. So I hope you in the next year visit here to Israel, you also will visit the Haifa.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Orhan. So actually, I've been in Israel for 10 days with a Taglit. So I've visited the Haifa. It was like for several hours, because in Taglit you have a very tough program that is super rich, super full of the cities, full of the bus excursions. But I guess in my next visit, I'll have a look to Haifa more detailedly, more closely.
Yeah. Actually, in Israel, we have a lot of cities, what you can see, and there have most of the cities, like 19%, is all city have his history, and it's very interesting.
Yes.
So, Mr. Rafael, please ask about if some other students have any questions.
Mr. Orhana Rasulzade, I have already asked about it. Looks like no one has a question.
Of course, after presentation of Mr. David, if I was a student, I also was without some question, because there have maximum information, maximum. Mr. David, thank you again for
You're welcome.
For your presentation. It was the maximum information for all, and I also a few moments which is I doesn't know until now. So thanks to you again.
Wonderful. I put my email in the chat as well. Everyone's welcome to email me afterwards any questions you have, by all means.
Very good things. Very good things. So I think we can close the conference for today, and I hope it was first and not the last the conference between Azerbaijan and Israel. So Mr. Рафаэль, please, can you continue?
Yeah, of course. Mr. David Ryan, as I said before, as I mentioned, it was very detailed and interesting speech. Please accept our thanks for a great lecture and presentation. Thank you very much. Thank you all for joining our conference.
Thank you very much. And if I can just say thank you very much for inviting me. It's an absolute pleasure to be here and to speak to so many people. I have to say, I do lots of webinars every week, and I think, you know, I often don't present to this many people. So I think it's wonderful that you've all taken the time to come in to listen to me. I'm truly, truly grateful. And I hope this can be the first event of many. I hope we can continue to do a similar event in the future between, you know, us and Azerbaijan students in the future. I'd love to be involved. I'd love to help out whatever I can do to strengthen the connection between us. I'm here to help and to facilitate that. So thank you very much. Toda rabah.
Thank you, Mr. David. Absolutely right. You know, in Azerbaijan and also in Israel, we have more talent students, and that's why all of the talent students, totally the students, must to get the maximum what we can give them. I mean, by study side. So thank you very much again to all.
Thank you.
See you next time. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
hope this I hope this kind of event is not going to be the last one. Okay, we're going to organize next ones. Okay, Mr. Orhan.
Of course, sure.
Okay.
One in the new year or sometime.
Okay.
I will visit you,
Yes,
Mr. David. I think in the next week. I'm sure about that.
Wonderful.
Thank
Let's
you.
get something booked in.
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
Now we have more depth about what we can talk.
Exactly.
Be sure.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.